Takeover. Here in Takeover, one of hip-hop's most celebrated diss tracks, the centerpiece of the grossly overrated Blueprint album, Jay-Z takes aim at rival New York rapper Nas. The first two verses consist mostly of general boasts, threats and insults, but in the third verse Jay gets down to specifics, and this is where the song falls horribly apart. Anyone watching this video, all 6 of you, might be forgiven for thinking I'm making a big deal of a relatively minor point, and maybe you're right, but for many years these few lines have lived rent-free in my head, festering there, tainting my enjoyment first of the song, then the album, then Jay-Z, then hip-hop, then music itself. I don't know why these 4 lines should get under my skin in the way they do. Whatever, every time I hear the song, the angrier I get. Making this video is a form of catharsis. Now it's everybody's problem. Let's break it down. 4 albums in 10 years. This is a brave opening gambit. 4 albums in 10 years is neither a particularly slow nor fast rate to be releasing music. In fact, it's pretty much dead center in the range of what we might consider an industry standard, and therefore we find ourselves justifiably confused as to where Jay is going. After all, he can neither attack Nas for a lax work ethic, nor can he mock him for flooding the market. He can't say, for example, 1 album in 10 years, you a lazy fuck, or 10 albums in 10 years, bitch stop, everybody bored with your lame ass shit. So where is he going? Let's see. Neighbor, I can divide. Was that ever in any doubt? Has Nas claimed something to the contrary? The overwhelming majority of humanity possesses this rather basic skill. This seems like a strange flex. Is it a flex? You might think I'm reaching there, but I'm not. I am tempted to view everything Jay-Z says as a brag for the simple reason that it usually is. But okay, fine. Let's give him the benefit of cautious doubt for now. That's 1 every, let's say 2. Well, no it's not. It's 1 every 2.5. Again, you might think, well, he's rounding off. But in the preceding line, Jay specifically made a point of drawing our attention to his ability to divide, therefore creating a legitimate expectation that he was going to do so. 4 albums in 10 years, that's 1 every let's say 2, is fine, because the second line was not preceded by a claim about division skills. But when you draw attention, unsolicited, to a skill you claim to possess, you then commit yourself to demonstrating that skill at the first available opportunity. Okay, for now, let's let this pass, but it still leaves a bad taste in the mouth. It should put the listener on notice that Jay is in the process of fumbling the ball. That's a 1 hot album every 10-year average. So what the fuck was the division about? Why bother dividing 10 by 4 to get, let's say 2, if you immediately disregard the result of said calculation and revert to 10 for the payoff? The division serves literally no purpose. What is this, performative maths? The correct verse should read, 4 albums in 10 years, they were all shit except Illmatic, that's a 1 hot album in a 10-year average. It's sad that I have to correct the word of a supposed professional, but here we are. Going back to my earlier assertion that Jay-Z was bragging about his ability to divide, we have to conclude, since the division served no structural purpose, that this is indeed the case. He is either a complete moron who doesn't understand how words work, or he is bragging about a basic preschool level math skill. Being able to solve this would be a legitimate flex. 10 over 4 is not. 38 revolve like the sun round the earth. In his seminal 1543 work, De Revolutionibus Orbium Celestium, Renaissance polymath Nicholas Copernicus proposed that the sun lies at the center of the universe and that the Earth and the other planets actually revolve around it. We might forgive Jay's unfamiliarity with this manuscript, written as it was some 500 years ago in a dead language, if it wasn't for the fact that they teach this shit in fucking kindergarten. Put me anywhere on God's green earth, I'll triple my worth. More garbage. Put Jay-Z in rural Mongolia or Antarctica and his business model, such as it is, quickly breaks down. To demonstrate this as a thought experiment, let's drop him into the middle of the Amazonian rainforest and see how his tripling his net worth plays out. In fact, no thought experiment is necessary. I am a computer savant, and using software I designed for this very purpose, I ran this simulation, and the results were telling. In fact, it quickly became apparent that the lack of market infrastructure in the jungle was causing a significant barrier to Jay-Z's financial success, as did the lack of potential buyers for luxury goods or services. Limited communication opportunities meant that Jay-Z couldn't even leverage his global network. Indeed, in the vast majority of simulations, Jay ended up getting eaten by a jaguar or simply starving to death. In some scenarios, he managed to make contact with indigenous peoples, but didn't fare particularly better. His attempts to trade knowledge and skills with local communities left tribal elders nonplussed, as did his attempts to build his entertainment empire from the ground up, starting with scathing raps about them fucking jaguars or diss tracks leveled at the hated Mbunga tribe. Uruwanga, we running this jungle shit. His most successful encounter with the noble people of the forest saw the tribesmen mistaking him for a woman on account of his manicured nails, soft palms, and ostentatious clothing, and marrying the chief's eldest son, thus becoming princess of a sacred mountain. On analysing the data, my supercomputer suggested that Jay-Z's best chance of success was to re-establish contact with the outside world and then set up an ecotourism venture, but also noted that A, these ventures take months or years to set up, B, they require legal systems, logistics and international trade access, C, even if successful, they'll never triple the 1 billion in value in a short time, and D, expressed considerable doubt as to whether Jay-Z possessed the requisite business acumen to succeed in such a venture. Leveraging your position as a pop star to launch a clothing brand is one thing. Tripling your net worth in an economy, such as the Rainforest, that can't generate that kind of capital growth is another. You're a child of destiny, you're the child of my destiny, you're my child with the child from Destiny's Child. This is awful, absolutely awful. I can imagine him getting goosebumps at how clever he thought that line was. Jay-Z actually wrote a book analysing his own lyrics with the expressed intention of using them to prove that hip-hop is poetry. The hubris of the man. His ego knows no boundaries. It transcends space and time. He should have written a book apologising for this abomination of a verse. And, on a side note, what a change in tune from, you know I thug 'em, fuck 'em, love 'em, leave 'em, 'cause I don't fucking need 'em. Take 'em out the hood, keep 'em looking good, but I don't fucking feed 'em. There's nothing worse than a reformed smoker, and it seems there's nothing worse than a reformed big pimp. Cake, 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 cake. This is really not a good start to a verse. Imagine scribbling those 6 words in a notebook and thinking, yeah, I got something here. 500 million, I got a pound cake. Makes superficial sense, but he's American, it should be dollars, and even if there was such a thing as a dollar cake, the line should still read 500 million, I got 500 million dollar cakes. Neighbours is fronting that upside down cake. Makes no sense, it's such nonsense I can't even make fun of it. Got 'em a red nose, they clown cakes. Okay, this would make sense if clown cakes were a thing, which they aren't, so it doesn't. They should never let you round cake. Since round cake is not a thing either, it sounds like this person is not to be trusted with cake. They should never have left him around children, that kind of thing. Very odd. Look at my neck, I got a carrot cake. I know what he means, but it really sounds like he's bragging he's got a carrot cake round his neck. In print, this confusion wouldn't arise since gold carrot starts with a K, but when hit with this line in the wild, the natural response of the listener is to stare at the speakers and mutter, "The fuck?" Now here's the icing on the cake, no doubt. Cake, 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 This is like one of my rushed homework assignments. The only excuse for this is that he forgot about agreeing to the collaboration and then wrote it in the taxi on the way to the studio. Even so, it's bad. This took me 30 seconds. I go hard, I'm like a rock cake. Other MCs go soft, they all sponge cake. I'm black and I'm proud, I'm a chocolate cake. Nas tried to diss me, he a fruit cake. Married to the game, we got a wedding cake. It's not good, the whole cake idea is stupid. But at least it's logically consistent. I expect better from a so-called professional. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't. 96, 97, 99, 2000, 2001 and beyond. 02, 03, 04, 05, 06 and 7, 08, 09, back to back, double plat, I did what you won't, men lie, women lie, numbers don't. Here, Jay-Z is boasting that all his albums from 96 to 2009 went double platinum. And indeed, he is telling the truth, they did. Here is the Recording Industry Association of America, RIAA, Jay-Z page showing exactly that. Here is the RIAA note for 444, the album from which these lyrics are taken. Double platinum. Numbers don't lie, right? Well, what the RIA page doesn't tell us is that during this period, the mobile company Sprint, a major shareholder in Tidal, Jay-Z's streaming company, bought 1 million copies of 444 and provided subscribers free downloads of the album. These Sprint giveaways, which were not direct consumer sales, nevertheless counted towards the platinum certification. Numbers can and do lie. Everybody knows this, except Jay-Z apparently. No surprise that the man who thinks that 10/4 is a flex should demonstrate such a naive and simplistic attitude towards statistics. 99 problems. The year is 94 and my trunk is raw. Okay, for a start he's driving around with crack cocaine in his trunk. I've watched The Wire, so I have a more nuanced view of the drug trade than some of my contemporaries, but it doesn't change facts that crack cocaine was an absolute fucking blight. Therefore, I'm rooting for the police here. In my rearview mirror is the motherfucking law. Brooklyn's finest doing their job, good on them. So I pull over to the side of the road. I heard, "Son, do you know why I'm stopping you for? Because I'm young and I'm black and my hat's real low. Do I look like a mind reader, sir? I don't know. Am I under arrest or should I guess some more?" Now, I too have cheeked a few coppers in my younger days, and it's not a good idea, especially if you have something to hide. I once told a policeman to check my treads and fuck off, thinking I was being clever because my tyres were brand new, and instead I got fined for my headlights being too dim. Lesson there. Had I had a trunk full of crack cocaine, I like to think I would have been a little bit more circumspect with my language. Also, accusing the officer in question of being racist is not a good look either. Maybe he is. At this point in the conversation, the policeman has said or done nothing racist, and Jay-Z has no reason to suspect that he is. Don't make assumptions about people. It perpetuates the cycle of hate. I'm sure Jay-Z would have enough to say if the po-po assumed that he was a gangbanger just because he was black. Let's see what happens. Well, you was doing 55 in a 54. So, Jay was speeding. Serve him right. Rules is rules. I think he owes the officer an apology here. License and registration and step out of the car. Are you carrying a weapon on you? I know a lot of you are. Okay, the policeman shouldn't have said that. That is racist. That's profiling right there. That's a mark against him. Still, on balance, I think passive-aggressive racism is the lesser of two evils here, considering that what Jay has in his trunk is actually going to destroy lives. I ain't stepping out of shit, all my papers legit. Unfortunately for Jay, the Supreme Court takes a different view. Once a motor vehicle has been lawfully detained for a traffic violation, the police officers may order the driver to get out of the vehicle without violating the Fourth Amendment's prescription of unreasonable searches and seizures. So, he's wrong here. Possession of legit papers is utterly irrelevant. Well, do you mind if I look around the car a little bit? Well, my glove compartment is locked, so is the trunk in the back, and I know my rights, so you gon' need a warrant for that. Again, Jay-Z is in the wrong. The officer does not need a warrant for a car search. The Supreme Court has ruled unequivocally that because cars are inherently mobile and are pervasively regulated and operated in public spaces, it is reasonable under the Fourth Amendment for police to search the car, the whole car, and everything in the car, including containers, whenever they have probable cause to believe that the car contains evidence of a crime. There is a legitimate question here as to whether the officer has probable cause. I doubt a minor speeding offence would suffice. So, Jay is technically correct to refuse to consent to the search, but even so, his objection should read, "And I know my rights, you gon' need probable cause for that," not, "you gonna need a warrant for that." Jay clearly doesn't know his rights. The fact that the policeman asked for permission to look around would suggest to any reasonably intelligent person that there existed some potential legal implication, in this case probable cause, hence the officer's hesitancy. So the sensible thing for anyone to do would be just to state, "No, I don't consent to a search," even if they don't know from where their right to refuse arises. With an overconfident and incorrect assertion about his rights visa warrant, Jay is putting the officer on notice that he is dealing with the comical buffoon we all know him to be. Aren't you sharp as a tack? You some type of lawyer or something? Somebody important or something? Jay-Z is such a constitutional braggart that here he is actually inserting Jay boasts into the mouth of a fictional character. This is some next level boasting. Jay-Z is boasting's final form. Aren't you sharp as a tack? Somebody important. L-O-fucking-L. Aren't you sharp as a tack? The best to ever do it in the history of rap. Well, I ain't past the bar, but I know a little bit. That's a rare humble brag from Jay there. Well, we'll see how smart you are when the canine come. Good, I hope they throw the prick in jail. I'm a YouTube menace. I take the fucking lives of pussy-ass bitches who don't like and subscribe.